Now, are you considering going to a model-based tool in your work environment? Maybe an MBSE tool or model-based design? Well, here's an aspect you may want to consider before you start discussing the tool. Now, in a previous post, we talked about asking 3 questions. One was, what is the pain point? 2, is the pain point serious enough to solve? And what would need to have been in place in order to prevent the pain point in the first place? Now, a lot of times that answer is a MBSE tool or a digital ecosystem. Sometimes, as we go through this, we find that some basic improvements to configuration management would help. But for this tip, we want to go upstream a little more and talk about how engineering operations and programs make money. Okay, this may be obvious, but a customer will come to us with a problem to solve. They'll give us a certain amount of money and time, and then we will perform our engineering magic. Then at the end, we will deliver a product. Okay, well, there are certain processes that we use to do that. Okay, we have a requirements gathering process, a design process where we might have some design guidance on how we build a part or design a bracket. We also will have a process on maybe doing verification. How do we do test? How do we document all this? Okay, so the activities that lead to going from the money from the customer to a workable product that we deliver, those specific activities are sometimes called a value chain. So anything from the systems V could be part of a value chain. Now, if there's a part of this value chain that is taking longer than expected, or we're having a lot of trouble with it, maybe it's interface management. A lot of us get bit by interfaces. Well, then if we can identify that piece, that part in the value chain, and come to management and say, hey, look, here's how we make money. They probably know that already, but here's a piece in the critical path that's really giving us trouble. I think we ought to work on this piece, and then ask, okay, well, what could we put in place that might make this quicker or more reliable, or even boost the quality of that piece of the value chain? Now, all of a sudden, if we're talking, profit, process, value chain to management, and then introduce the MBSE tool as operating on this value chain and improving it, particularly when it's part of our revenue model, frankly, we're going to have a lot more success than if we just walked in and told them about a cool new tool. So if you deal in the business side, maybe you have a technical background or not, but if you work on process, you work on program management, even if you're in engineering, if you can work in a value chain model and describe things in those terms, and then propose MBSE as a solution to fixing the value chain, now we don't just come in saying, hey, we found this new tool, we want to use it. We come in saying, hey, we understand how this business works, the business side of engineering, and we see a place where we could save money, save time, and maybe be more competitive. That's going to help us be receptive and help people like our ideas and want to know what we have to say. Then we go in with, hey, we have this model-based systems tool, and it'll automate this, and it'll help. Give this a try. Let me know how it goes. Comment below if you work in value chain, if you speak that language, and let me know your experiences. If you've used MBSE to work on more business process, or to simply tangibly cut down labor hours to complete a certain task, when that task is recognized as a critical path task, then comment below also, because that's the goal we're looking for in making these arguments to move to a digital environment and to deploy some of these fairly complex, fairly, in my opinion, sometimes high learning curve, but very powerful MBSE tools. This can be done. It's the right thing to do to move to this environment, but it's going to take some salesmanship and some business savvy as well. Comment below, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next tip.